you guys do jump in here, you know, if you wouldn't mind, just give it a like, hit that like button. It just helps out the algo. It brings more people in. It's more fun that way. I'm trying to get a little bit of lighting going on here for me, a little mood lighting. So hopefully we can make this happen. It looks like we got good internet service, which is great. Well, here was the problem. I was over at the shop, and we must have like an outage because the cell service is gone. Maybe they're switching us over to 5G. We've been lucky to basically have the LTE. I don't know. It's not called anymore. It's like LTE. All right. You're more welcome to ask questions. It's a free-for-all when it's always a live stream. Obviously, we ask you to keep it clean. Always, some of the moderators are going to kick your butt, or myself. You'll go bye-bye. So, Cody had a good one. Cody, I apologize. I left your email. I printed it out, and I left it at the shop. So, I kind of want to get into it. So, Cody is just started up potential garage door business, it sounds like. I think he said New England. And he's got questions on the garage door springs, right? Springs. Sounds like he's dealing with a lot of low headroom. He's dealing with extension springs. So we're going to go through some of this stuff, and you guys are more welcome. Just remember, if you really want to give a nugget, this is just my opinion. I don't know. You're more welcome to comment in the video, and I'll try to relay it and talk about it, or you know, any input's always good, right? But if you want to leave it for after the video, because typically I try to do the front portion of the main subject. So somebody, you know, that's not really into the whole garage doors, they're just trying to understand stuff. They don't watch, you know, an hour long or however long it goes video. But if you leave a comment also after the video, that's as good. It keeps it kind of in the database, right? So it shows up. So anywho, with Cody, a couple things, right? I know you said you got the service spring. Those guys right there. So let me start out with, like, here's the thing. Service spring has always been very, very helpful to walk me through anything. Some people are a little better than others if you call them. So if you get somebody and you just think things are they're not answering your question really to the best of your knowledge, don't be afraid to, you know, tell them goodbye politely and everything. Or you can always ask to maybe talk to somebody else. Or you can always call back, right? And you get somebody else that's a little more knowledgeable on something, or maybe they know how to answer it the way that you understand it, right? So that's one thing. Another thing, this book has been very helpful. Now, here's the thing. Cap is a real expert at this. I mean, he's like a whiz. I know the basics to basically get me out of a wet paper bag, right? But this book right here, if you don't have like internet and you don't want to deal with the app or stuff like that, you can get this. This is through Service Spring right here, right? A spring book here. This is a torsion spring rate book. So basically, and he was talking about upscaling the springs too, but this is not going to be the best to show up, but this has got everything in here, your what is it, the IPPTs and stuff like that. So what you got to do is you got to weigh the door, right? The big thing is you got to get a scale. Just have a really great scale. It was my grandma's, I think. And I broke it and then I never replaced it, but it was one that was it was kind of like on a pedestal, so it came up to about your belly button, I'd say. So it worked really good. So let's take a look here. So you got to figure out, you know, how to do your weight, and then once you convert the weight, and this will tell you everything in the book here, you get it to the IPPTs, right? There's the weight, and there's guys out there that are way better than me, but like I said, so what is in this book is you get your IPPTs, right? You come over here and it'll tell you your 10 cycles, right? 10,000 cycles, how many turns. So this one's got 5.5. You start exceeding over 5.5, you're gonna decrease that spring from a 10,000 cycle to a 9,000, depending on how many turns. Now if you want to upgrade that spring, this book here will tell you also how to get it. So what's this one say? This is a 25, I don't know why it says 25M, but it says 25. Then you go to bigger, right? But this will have the formula all in it. You got to get this book. Get this book. So you get the weight of the door. Sometimes it gets you normally pretty close. It's getting me out. This book has gotten me out a lot of pickles. and it's got different springs on there for diameter. So it's telling you what size spring this is. This is a no, it's kind of a weird size, but it's a 2-4-3-7-5, you know, 2-7/16. I mean, this is kind of your Bible for spring. So you got to get one of these books. Once you understand it, it works really good. It might be a little better than the app Upcycle and stuff. You just might be more familiar with the book application. So the thing that Cody was mentioning is he was mentioning 1 3/4 springs by 2 springs. I'd like to hear you guys on it. Here's the thing. I converted years ago. I converted everything over to 2 springs, right? So I don't know what the benefit is besides making it easier for yourself. You know, what's up, Tony? Tony, you might be able to help in this too for Cody. Cody just started up he's doing a residential garage doors and stuff. And he was mentioning, he's curious. I mean, anything you can put in there for input on springs, you know, garage door springs to carry and stuff like that. I'm trying to go through some of it. Tony, I don't know about you. I just use 2-inch. I just have all my stuff as 2-inch. I don't really see no benefit of 1 3/4. Put it all over. Now, I feel like, what was it? So the way I always looked at it, right? Most of the springs you wanted so if I came across an 1 3/4 spring and I was going to convert it, let's just say it's a 218 wire. Normally, if it's shorter is better for that 2-inch spring, right? Because shorter means it's got more power. So they normally always worked out the best just to kind of go in that range. It can be a little tricky. Now, my theory always was 4 inches, just right off the cuff, right? I never exceeded 4 inches. When my spring got 4 inches difference, now I'm talking more like, let's say a 218, 2-inch ID. Let's say you go to a customer, they got that spring. If my spring was like 2 inches shorter, I'd let it go. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'd use that with a little caveat, because obviously if it was grandma and she's got her Cadillac in there and she's using that door, I tell you what, I'm going to get a spring that's going to be darn near identical to it. But if it's got a garage door opener, it can normally power through. Hey, don't forget, you guys, too, hit the like button since you're coming in here. Everybody's kind of waking up, coming onto the channel here. Just helps bring more people in. EXARU, he says, hey, bro, what's up? What's up? Hope you're doing good. So my thing was always the 4-inch rule. That's what I always kind of went with in general in my head. If my spring was 5 or 6 inches different, you know, in the 218 2-inch or something like this, I just kind of that's going to be too much. The power is going to be off. So like I said, you gotta get a scale. You got now I think every air might be a little different, but they might be pretty similar. Don't mind me, I'm just kind of moving some books around here. So my little old Bible here for the garage door world that we used to carry in each truck has the springs on here. Like I said, you can kind of use this as a reference. I have a video on it somewhere also. So some of the springs, I always remember we carry about 14. I always carried about 14 to 17 springs, and I'm talking like a pair, you know, so like you'd count like a 218 left and 218 right, that's 2, so 2, 4, you know, onwards. That's how many springs I would carry on my truck, 14 to 17. Now here's some just generic ones that we've carried for non-insulated doors and that. And like I said, don't hold me to it. I'll tell you, these ones have changed a little bit because I already got 1 3/4 on here, and I guarantee we don't carry. This is, I don't have, of course, you know, when I built these back in the day, these little manuals, like this one's from a 25. This was an F250 we had in 08. You know what I mean? So this one's got a 207, 22 2-inch left and right. I got a 218, 23 and a half. We got a 225, 27 inches long. This is going to be different, right? This is a 234 that we carry on. This is 35 though. It's 1 3/4. That you'd have to convert that over. to 2-inch is what we would carry. We had 243 wire. That's same. It's 31.5. We had 250 wire, 33 inches long, 262, 35, 35.5. Now, you might get lucky. I got lucky. My luck was I ended up, one of our it's basically a mom and pop garage door shop. I went to them when I first got into the game, in a sense, and I told him, I said, I don't know what to carry. I was like, I don't know what to carry for garage door springs. And he goes, you know what? He goes, I'll give you a little slew of them. And I didn't really change much from it. I put maybe 1, 2, or 3 pairs of different springs that I would carry. And those worked out pretty good. So if you can find a local garage door place too, or a vendor, and maybe ask them, I don't know if Service Spring would be able to help with that or not. You know what I mean? If you could ask, you know, what's a generic spring size? They probably even got more up-to-date ones. Is it Guru? I'll call you G. We'll call you G for this one. What do we got here? So Tony says I use 2 and 1 3/4. Okay. Okay. I don't know why Tony, do you know, is there like any, I mean, is it just simpler? I mean, I know it's simpler, right? There's no math. There's no really, just, you replace exactly. I don't know if there's any real big benefit. We just converted everything over to 2-inch. You know, that's, it just seemed like 1 3/4 is getting to be pretty obsolete around this area, at least. And whatever we have for 2-inch just converts into that 1 3/4. So we just take them all off and just stuck with 2-inch, because I don't know why, it got confusing for some reason. So like I said, those are spring size. I really think Service Spring could help out a lot with that. I really think if you called them and even asked them, say, hey, look, I'm a new garage door, you know, business, this and that. What are some common ones that you guys see that sell the most of? And they could probably, I bet they could find a sheet, find somebody in the company that would be able to help you recommend, you know, like, hey, 207s, 218, things of that nature. That's just my guess. I think extension springs, unfortunately, I don't deal with extension springs unless it's like a severe reason. You know what I mean? Like I still even have a hard time thinking of anything right off the top of my head that's going to be extension springs. It's more or less always converted over. We do rear mount, we do front mount, we do outside hookups. It was funny because honestly today I had a problem with my mom. My mom called me, and she said, hey, our door is, you know, it's walking funny, and they got extension springs on there, and those that I can't believe those extension springs still work to this day, because that building's got to be all of, let's see, I'm 40, so it's all of 35 years old, still original extension springs. Amazing. Probably original rollers too. So it's time. It's gonna get probably converted at some point. Yeah. So anyways, we got 3 likes too. Thanks for the likes, you guys. Brandon's got a great question. And honestly, I like Tony's opinion or anybody else's opinion if they got one, if they know anything. So Brandon here says, what's your thoughts on powder coated springs? That's a great question. That is a great question. So I'm just going to kind of go off to squirrel land here. And so it's one of those things, like, I have no proof. I have no proof if coated springs last longer. It's kind of like those one companies, all the galvanized ones. And I know there's a lot of controversy on those galvanized ones, right? People say those things don't last and blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't even know. You know what I mean? But here was what the powder coated springs. If you can buy them buy in a bulk, right? And you can get them coated, I really think you should. Here's the reason why. In the business, in the garage door business, I always call it, I'm trying to idiot-proof things. I'm really trying to idiot-proof things. And I look at everything from different angles, right? Because customers do all kinds of weird things. But I thought if you had a powder-coated spring, right? Like, I know darn well when I go into a garage door that's been serviced by Precision garage door, right? I can see right away. I go, oh, wow, that's a big green, dark green, forest green spring up there. That must be Precision garage door. And I always wanted to do ours because most of our colors are blue. I always wanted to do blue ones because if it was to ever call, we could identify that if they took a picture, if they did a FaceTime with us, they did a whatever it is. I don't know what Google calls theirs anymore. Duo FaceTime or something. But we could identify it is our spring, up there. It would just help, I think, a lot of things. It could help the customer, it could help Terry, it could help your employees, it could help the owners. And it would just kind of help seal the deal that is our garage door spring. Now, I think some of them, I think Precision's one of them, right? They got labels on there or something, right? When that spring breaks, it'll actually show their name or something on there. I don't know if Service Spring gets that fancy. But I swear I seen a broken one and I could see it say partially Precision door or something on it, or might even say all Precision or something, and I was like, that's a hell of a marketing energy. So, I always liked it too, because if you got them coded, another thing I just thought of, employee theft. I've had it happen. You go to employees' grandma's house, or you go to employees, just things happen. You go to their house, you go to, right? Oh yeah, my buddy, he used to work for you, blah, blah. I wonder if springs in the system that it got done. Just things of that nature. It's just an easy way to identify that that's probably your spring, because nobody else spent the extra money to get color coded. So I don't know. I like your opinion though. Like I said, if you guys have anything that you think they last longer, they're prettier, let me know. They stick, they get stuck because of paint on them. Tony's guy says, I carry all the springs and parts on my truck. 234 by 4 by 35, 207. We got 2 by 24, 207 by 13, 4 by 31, 243. Did I see it? We're just looking here, Tony. Carrot, man, Tony, I'm surprised. It's all varies in the IPT. He says 19 points through 48.3. So Service Spring will get you any color you need. No, Tony, you don't carry 218 wire? I was always told by my one vendor that was the Mob Fireplace. He always said, man, 218 has just got a weird, and has anybody, maybe Tony's noticed, or somebody else, have you ever noticed? I haven't really super paid attention to it, but have you ever noticed that, like a left hand, like let's say I think of 218 wire, because I love 218 wire. I don't know why. But 218 wire, left hand will be softer than the right hand. Like you ever take the cone and try to twist it, and the right hand's kind of stiff, but the left hand's kind of, that one's kind of smooth, and that's weird. I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed that, if that's just me. That was in the business too, and he was the one that told me, and I tried it one time, and I was like, I must just have a weird batch or something. I never tried it again, so it's not like every spring I've always touched, I'm always like, left hand's nice and smooth, right hand's always stiffer. Weird. What's up? Mook says, it means what's up. He says, all varieties, yes, Service Spring, get color you need. Tony's guy says, my business color is purple. He says, I always wanted to do purple. I know, and the thing is, I don't know off the top of my head, Tony, how many, I think you got to buy so many. It's kind of like the spray lube. You got to buy like a certain quantity, and then you get stickers on it. And then, like I said, it was always something kind of looked at. And I was kind of always right in that transition of like Cap was taking over and stuff like that. And I just went, do we want to order that many springs and sit on them? I wasn't getting a ton of like good feedback from some of the guys. And then it was just, I just decided not to do it at the time. But I still think about it. I still cross them in my mind. Would that be nice that if you had somebody that took a picture and they somehow that picture, and you're like, well, obviously we were there before. I mean, whoever the technician was there didn't put a sticker on it, on the door, or, it should be in STEM, or, things of that nature. Just little things that could help, Tony doesn't carry, don't carry 218, huh? 218 was always my favorite. 207, 218 was always a good wire. We use a lot of 218 around here. I think they go on more of the or like a vinyl back insulated, or sometimes they go on like a 16x7 typically, or like one with a row of windows in them with some struts. Otherwise, if they're just no windows, you know, pair of 207s normally work. But 218 was a good wire. I like 218 wire. I never liked to get up to like the 262 and the 273 and what was the other one? 225 was okay. 225 was okay, but they always just seemed like, I don't know, they were just always more not forgiving. You know, 218 I could always normally like throw another turn on it if I had to get me a pickle, and it would normally save the day. Where sometimes you get up those bigger springs and it seems like you put a half a turn on there and it's like, oh, it's like you got to go quarter by quarter, or little quarters, make it try to balance in right if something's goofy, you know. Tony said something on there. So, but anyways, if you guys got, like I said, that's a good question from Brandon. If you got any more questions, just shoot them off. Like I said, I might freeze for a second because I might just go through. Like I said, I didn't bring Cody's email, and since the email or the comments are just blowing up, what I might do is I might look at it real quick and just see if I missed anything. So if I freeze, it's not because I went away. I'll be back. No, I think I got most of his stuff. He said he was just kind of overthinking it. Cody was, but like I said, Cody, you know, I tell you, man, the cat's meows is, like I said, is I think if you can do their online app, you can call them. Tony, do you got one of these books? Tony, you got one of these books? You got a torsion spring, or do you just use your phone? I'm just curious. This is how we had it always before we had phones. You always had to have the books. So that's why they were in our, and this might be something you guys want to do too. You know what I mean? If you're just starting out, I made a folder and then I'd put everything in here, right? We had our prices in here. These are obviously old prices. I put a date on this. This one's a 2011. Used to have our prices in there. I had what weather seal was going to cost you. I had everything you needed to keep in your truck, part numbers on there. What else I got in here? I had a monthly vehicle checklist, registration, insurance, work turn, flashlight. Ooh, I got to remember about flashlight since we're here. And we're pretty light tonight. Another one of these. And what was weird is I see a check mark this book for this spring. Sometimes I'd mark them so that my eyes would go, or highlight them just to make things go a little faster. So anyways, what I wanted to share with you though, since I got one, I got to keep an eye out. Kind of you never know where we're at. We're in a spooky area. Don't mind me. I gotta take my boat clip. I gotta get this off for you because I want to show you this light before I forget. Because I normally carry, I don't know what some of you carry. He's gonna come here, he's gonna be like, why do you got, looks like you're waiting for somebody. What is this? So I had pretty good luck with this, right? This is a through light. Maybe some of you guys have heard of this and maybe not. So this is a through night. The thing is, as I'm getting older, my eyes aren't getting any better. I used to carry, can't think of that brand. There was a flashlight though I used to carry, and it had just the top was open, right? He says, is that Lowe's? Yeah, it's Lowe's. I'm in the Wally World parking lot though. Lowe's, I don't know what time they close. I had to go to somewhere where I wasn't going to get bugged by a police officer being like, we can't be here. Like I said, the shop, there's the internet, or not internet, but the cell phone's down. So this might be even something, Tony, you might want to look into. So this little guy, this through light. Now, typically I don't like these buttons because I'll push these buttons. But what's really nice about the flashlight, just got, what's it got? Looks like one beam in there. See about what it sits in. it's got this turbo mode, which it's probably going to blast me. Yep. So you hit the bottom button. That's your turbo mode, basically, right? It's got this side button. Push it once. It's got, and then you can do your adjustments. I got bright, really bright. That's turbo probably. Low, same thing. Click it once again. But there's actually, what I like about this flashlight is I like the fact that I can lock it. I figure if I hold it, I think it is. I have to come more, I think. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay, come on. Come on. Work for me. So you hold that, I hold it again, it turned off. Okay, that's what it was. But what's nice is now I push the button, even the turbo mode, this light doesn't work, which is really, really, really nice. Because guess what? It doesn't click on. My other one would click on sometimes. I had the bottom, which I do like the bottom button better. But it would click on. So this thing is actually nice. It comes with a little holster. Holster, it's okay. I do like the fact that it has a flap, even though it irritates me. But I can't tell you how many times I take off my pants or shorts. Darn flashlight slips out of the holster, my old holster, and it'll hit me in the foot. And boy, does it make you just say some really fantastic words. But this is a through night, and this is actually a 12. What is this? This is TN12 Pro, if you're looking for it. Just something I wanted to bring to people's attention. It's a, like I said, I've had bigger flashlights of there. The medium, bulkier one I use for, I don't know, around house stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but I like that it's bright, because like I said, with my aging, they're not getting better. So, and it came with this, and it really wasn't that expensive. I think it was right around 39 bucks or something off the old Amazon. So, goes right in. Boom, this is already in the lock position, so I don't have to worry about it now getting hot in my pocket. Just something to consider. Just, I wanted to at least bring it to your, because it looks like it's got a little clip on the back too, but it's got the belt where it goes through for your belt. But I like this. I just wanted to make sure people are aware of it, because I watched 3 videos on it, and until I seen the one that showed, it said it had a lock, and I went, oh, I said, it's got a lock feature. I thought, well, that's great. So many times my other one will get bumped, and my kids or customers or people like, you know, your flashlight's on, and I'm like, God darn it, man, there goes the, you know, when I really need it, it's going to be so Tony said the 16x7 non-insulated, I run 26 2x2x38. Man, what is 126? 126, Tony? Is that the wire size? The wire size, Tony? Let me look at this book. We even have one. I don't even know if that's what it is. What we got here? I must be reading something wrong. Let's see if they even go that low, but I don't think I think something's wrong. What is it? 126. Oh, Tony says okay, 1262. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of ours up here for some reason we run, you know, and like I said, I'm kind of just a fan. The fanboy of it. We run the most of it's 207 a pair of, 218 a pair. I love pair springs. I really do. I like them because if one breaks, typically, not always, right, those genies will power through them. I've seen a lot of genie screwdrivers tear doors up. Borrow quit working, and what I like is when I get there, at least I still have somewhat of assistance. You know, the cables are still on, the cables aren't sprung. So that's always nice. I like that. I think we've talked about it before too, right? With one that pushes hard on one side. And so what you should do is eventually you should swap it. So that, you know, if you're on the right hand, and you go to a left hand the next time, so it pushes the other way on the or not the springs, but the bearings, I'm sorry. Oh boy, somebody's got whatever. Let's see, you're kind of giving, I don't know. No, but hey, we got 5 likes, which is really nice. But if you guys got any questions, like I said, on the garage door stuff, or Tony, let me know what's up. I'm surprised it's so kind of quiet on a Thursday. Man, everybody must be sleeping. This drought be affecting everybody. We need some rain, warmer weather. Getting kind of busier, all that kind of stuff. So I can't really think anymore on those springs though. Spray them down with lube. what is it? Tony says, did you see the cow video? Tanner sent it to you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I seen that. Maybe I did. I don't know. Me and Tanner, we've been going back and forth on some stuff. He's a couple of the jobs and stuff he's got a big one. You got a big one, Tony. We might need 2 backpieces for that one. One for you, one for me. So I see, what is it hidden? Sorry, hidden. I don't answer. Certain things you get, like, you get AI, you get robots, you get weird people. So like I see, it looks like you're human, actually. Whereas I thought you were a cop at first. No, not a cop. So garage door guy. Small business. They were starting his, oh no, dude, that's crazy. So he sent me a video. He was in a cow barn. He says, oh man, it says they were starting to eat his brand new doors. Dang, man. I guess I hear it just horses and stuff like that, right? Like posts and that, wood posts and that they'll eat, you know, or the bark on tree. That does not surprise me, man. A big door, I think it sounds like he might land it. I think it's close to 40 foot. Big door, man. Big door. I think he should, hopefully he's finishing up with his, I think he's doing, what's he got going? He got the county fair or something like that going on. So he might be, hopefully he's getting close. I think that was quite a few days he was going to be at that. Yeah, definitely send it to me, Tony. It'd be cool to, he might have sent it. Maybe I didn't see it. My phone's been really weird lately. Like I said, we've lost, you know, over the shop even. Like this really kind of messed me up with the whole not having cell service. So, and if, what is it, hidden? I say, he says, oh, okay. Hidden, what do you do? What state you from? For work? Do you, what's the weather like? Throw it out there. I'm still sitting here thinking about Cody, think if there's anything I can mention to him. Like I said, I really just think Service Spring, man, is your best bet. Call them for anything. Give them what you got, drum size, you know, low hedge room. They'll get you close. It's nice too. Basically, if you can start jotting down on strings, that seems to help. Like if you see a common trend, you know, almost make like a log. I see it, Tony. I see at least a little picture of it. Yeah, it looks like they're kind of munching, you know, but it looks like it's sitting on a bench or something. I can't really quite tell in the live stream, but yeah, that's oh man, it's always something, isn't it? That's right. Tony says Service Spring. He says they're a one-stop shop, man. Service Spring will hook you up. These guys right here, they do a phenomenal job, man. They really do. I mean, I would say starting out, they were probably, between them, they were probably right at the top. And maybe second was we were very fortunate. We had a local mom and pop garage door company that could get us pretty much anything as well. I don't think we could get commercial springs from them, but we could get hinges and we could get just all kinds of torsion tubes in a pinch if you needed to. See, the thing is what I learned later on was that, which maybe some people can relate to, is what you learn is as time goes on, you start valuing your time, right? So you start valuing your time and you realize, you know, in a nutshell, you're kind of running out of, you know what I mean, as you get older. And so you realize that, you know, if you're spending, you know, 45 minutes to an hour in a vehicle traveling to your vendor one way, and you're doing onesie twosies, you know what I mean? You're buying a couple, maybe 2 or 3, and then you got your torsion tubes and stuff like that. You start realizing, and at least this is for me, this is just my opinion, you know, your time is getting eaten up, right? Like you're like, well, I could be 45 minutes either out my truck, working on the shop. I could be, you know, doing other things. I'm out doing a garage door spring, garage door opener, building an opener. So sometimes that's where like you start realizing, you know what, maybe I'm going to eventually, you know, if I can find an opener. That's why I kind of like the openers, the garage door openers that were they had heads, right? The heads were pretty much the same, but you could change out the rails. So that's what turned me on to Genie at one point, because you could put a chain, which really in a kind of nutshell is kind of dumb. You know what I mean? They're pretty close, and the price is really close that it's like, I'd rather just not eat it, but the customer's going to pay me another 20, 40 bucks. And we're just going to go belt drives. So either you go belt drive, you go screw drive, you got some options, but it's nice that the rail's universal in a sense. So you have options in those scenarios sometimes. Oh, Hidden says, I'm in California. What area are you in? I am in Muskegon. We're in Muskegon, Michigan. Yep, we got a little mini Detroit over here. That's what, if anybody watched the video I posted today, there's going to be another video of it. We actually, the customer bought a door, which is kind of cool. It brought back a lot of memories. They actually, I believe, they bought it from Lowe's. And they bought it from Lowe's, and it was a Torque Master. And I ain't gonna lie, the Torque Master worked pretty darn good for that situation. So I was pretty happy about that. But on installing the Torque Master, just brought back so many memories. I am not like, I was like, oh my gosh, you know how many Torque Masters I installed back in the day? But what got me though is they cheapened them up a little bit. They put this, like, I've never had one. I thought I've heard of it, and I thought they did it a different way, but they did this little end cap on there. You'll see in the video, I think. I got enough footage. But I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? This is how they plug the end of it, because the guy's got a spring. It's just another way for them to cheapen it up. So, interesting. Very interesting. Peter says, cows eat everything. See, I always thought it was like the pig. Peter, which one's worse? Is it the cows or is it the pigs? I was always told if you wanted to get rid of that ex-wife, yeah, she going into the pig pit. You know what I mean? Because they go crunchy crunch and everything goes by. So you let me know, which one's worse, pigs or cows? Which one's gonna get rid of it? Tony says, yeah, he says, I love working cow ranches. I get all this attention. They're the best audience. Watch me move. Watch every move you make. That's cool. It kind of reminds me of when I was working for the Amish. You know how it is. They all kind of got the same name, right? His name was Marvin. It was Marvin. And Marvin, when I started out with, and then David came along, supposedly the brother. And when I started seeing Marlon kind of for the last times, I told Marlon, I said, hey man, I said, you're not going to be building the buildings anymore? And he said, no. He goes, I'm gonna stay on the farm and milk the cows. And I said, oh, and yeah. He goes, milking the cows. He goes, what's nice about this? They don't talk back. And I thought, fair enough. You know, and he said, you know how Amish, they don't really tell you a lot. So he, but I get what he was saying, like, the customers and the problems, and, it's time for David to take over and deal with some of the problems. Got this person, like, their headlights keeping it on. I guess they're getting to their vehicle now, but they're bright. It's like I wanted to turn my headlights on and be like, make sure mine are off, actually, so I'm not doing it to them. Peter says, pigs, I assume, never really been around pigs much. Yeah, the pigs, we used to have pigs up by the hunting farmer had them. And so my dad would take me down there. We'd go and we'd throw, a loaf of bread or something, stale or whatever it was, or just regular bread. I don't know. I don't remember if it was moldy or not. But I remember we throw it in there, man. Those guys would just, each other and ork, and do their thing. And, and then actually, I forgot, this is a good one. We were out in the field. The farmer, for some reason, let them out in the field. It was supposed to be kind of like, I think they had a little electric wire around, but anyways, there was corn out there and it was standing. I think my dad was taking it for like Halloween or something, like it was dried up and he wanted it for decoration. And anyways, I found a little pig out there. And so I started chasing the baby pig. And come to find out, you know, I was a little mama pigs don't like when you chase the baby pigs. And so next thing I know, mama pig's coming, and my dad must have seen it and caught what I was doing at the last minute. And next thing I know is I'm getting picked up by the back of my shirt, and I've never ever have seen my dad run in my life. And he don't have really the best knees. He's always had a lot of surgery and stuff like that, and just knee problems. And that man was running. I just remember being a kid looking at my dad's legs, because I was about that height when he was holding me, you know, and he was running, man. And I remember he chucked me in the truck. We took, I don't think he yelled at me or anything. I didn't really even ever know what went on until I got older. And he was like, yeah, he said, you're chasing the baby pig. The mama pig was going to crush your butt. Hidden says, pigs for the X. He said, except the hair and teeth. They won't eat though. Interesting. Interesting. They're nasty. Oh man. I know she was barreling down. I didn't really understand what was going on. I just knew my dad grabbed my hiney, you know, by the neck, and he was running. And I thought, never seen my dad. I was just going across the field. I have to do nothing. I just seen those knees and his legs just running away. And I thought, wow, my dad can run, you know. Oh man. So it's all good. It's all good. Tony, what'd you work on? Did you work on anything today? You got anything for tomorrow? It's tomorrow, Friday? Already at Friday. Holy cow, the weeks go by fast. I tell you what. Anybody got any projects they're working on? They got any doors or man doors or anything? Anything? Building a pool, building a barn. What you got? What you got? Oh, snap. Tony says, oh yeah, full day. That Invicta door, it will be wood grain. I'll take pictures. Ooh, you know, Tony, I don't think we've ever gotten, but I know you haven't got maybe a complete door. You probably have. I don't think I still got any hardware box or track on one yet from you. And like I said, I'd probably say, like, let's get one up here, but you know how that goes. We got to either, me and you got the meet in the middle, or it's probably just not going to happen until the future, you know. Ooh. Complete doors coming tomorrow. Nice. I'm excited. I'm a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie. It's like Tony gets this and I get nothing. Big goose egg. That's cool. Nope, that'll be awesome, man. That's gonna be interesting. Very interesting. Next week's gonna be a little interesting. I believe Cap is on vacation. Says, is Tony gonna post a video? I don't know. If he sends me some clips though, I'll definitely include them in something. We'll take a look at them, because you know, I'm probably just gonna turn into like Tony's editor. That's what we should do. Tony should just take videos. I'll just edit your videos for you, Tony. The hardest part, like when you go, what I've noticed is, if you use your phone, which it takes up a lot of space, you're basically taking footage of almost everything, and then you have to go through and edit it and clip it, and then you have to basically, when you finally get it edited, you have to save it. So now you save it to your phone, and that takes up more storage, and you can either post it, but what's gotten to be a little more time consuming, I must say, is using a GoPro or DJI, because now you got to download it to something. You got to do it a computer, you got to do it to your phone, and then you got to go through that still. And you know, when it's on your phone, it's a little easier, let's just say, because you got to click everything and download it individually, and then you got to edit it. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's all good though. Good. It's good information. And I still don't even know if I'm really, I don't know. Maybe you guys will have to let me know. You know, would you rather see, I don't know if I so much like the headshot. I've been thinking about more like a body chest one mounted. But it's tough because you don't know if you're getting what you want. So you got to constantly kind of either, you know, I'll take my hat off, whatever, and you'll put it up. And lenses are different. Lenses are different on everything. The camera wise, the angles. I didn't realize like a GoPro, it's not like your phone. It likes closer up for so you can see it, if that makes sense. Like where your phone, you can be a little more distance on it, and then you can just kind of zoom. You can't really do that fly with a like a DJI or a GoPro. Says if I'm here, he says when the truck gets here, he says I'll video. He says I'm backing down the driveway to the shop. He says I like when your daughter's video, and like the next one, like I said, that one that is posted today, which you guys usually go check it out, and if you don't, just click on it, like it. It'll just help expand it out there for other people to see. Because sometimes they're not as they don't get pushed as good, because if it's not like a real like clickbait type of thing, or you do like some like they like the drama, so you gotta put like, oh my gosh, I lost my finger. Those ones don't do so good, but those are kind of the ones I like doing, because I like those for the future generation, right? I like those for the like Cody, right? Cody really, I mean, in a sense, Cody kind of inspired tonight's live video. Because otherwise I was just like, I got the one video. I thought, I don't know if I'm gonna really have time. And I thought, you know what? Cody took the time to write an email, so I'm gonna jump on. I'm gonna do my best to help him out and give him any information I can, because I know what it's like. You know what I mean? And that's why I really love working with the younger people. I got a video, probably, I don't know when it'll come out, but I got one with Caleb. He needed some help with those 10x10s. I posted a video. Then I actually got to the job site. And it's just one of those things, like when you're there, right? When you're there, I don't know how to explain it. My brain probably just doesn't work that good anymore because of the gray hairs are eating it up. But when you're there and you're with the people, it makes you go, oh my gosh, like I understand the struggles that you're going through. You know what I mean? Like I had those same struggles, and I really, really wish there was somebody there to talk to or understand or explain, give me some insight. And I didn't have that. And so like right here, I mean, like tonight, just even, just having Tony, some of the other guys on here is a huge gift. I mean, it's a huge gift, because anybody can come, they can come to me, and if I don't know, I'm at my best. You know what I mean? And there's some guys out there, Tony and Tanner and Kevin. I mean, I can't even name them, because my brain can't hold all that. But I'll message these guys. I say, hey man, I remember talking to you about something, or hey, would you have any insight on this? You know what I mean? Or what would you do in this situation? Or have you seen this before? And so that's always great. And sometimes we come up, very little, but sometimes we come up with like, I don't really know. It's like, you can go, it's a fork in the road. You can go this way, you can go this way. So always good. Oh, snap. Tony said, I just did click it on it and liked it, he says, but haven't watched it yet. Yeah, it's a good watch. Like I said, I think I could have do a little more in-depth on how to measure. And honestly, when I was there at that job, I was kind of like, oh, shit. I was kind of like doing in my head, like I was doing like I got a lot to measure here. I got a lot of area here. I got a man door. I got a pitched roof. I got this. There's some weird bomb contraption they had. They actually tore that out in the next video. See it. Luckily they did. He wasn't planning on it. We ended up agreeing that we're like, look, we're just going to reuse the track. And that was an ingenious idea, until I went home and I laid in bed and I went, that was stupid. And I thought, for one, I kept thinking, oh my gosh. I thought, for some reason, I kept thinking fiberglass doors have roller sizes. And I went, oh my gosh. I went, if it's got different roller sizes, my new rollers aren't going to fit in the track. I just thought, I'm screwed. Like, I got to do something with the track. And I kept thinking, no. That's not the roller size. The size that sits in the track, it's the stem. And then sure enough, when I got there, he bought a whole complete door and he tore that thing out. And I was like, woo, I was like, you just made my job a lot easier. And I told him why. I said, hey, I said, sometimes, you know, the doors, I found this out a lot of times, right? You try to reuse garage door track, door thickness. Door thickness is a big one. So your door thickness will change. So I guarantee that fiberglass door with a frame was a different thickness, and I would have put my door in there and it would have been tight to the jam, and I would have had to either find adjustments or I would have to drill my holes and pull the track back. Trust me, I was a little bit nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? I can make this happen. I gotta make this happen. But he took the stuff out, so it was a lot better. You'll see it in the next video when it comes out. So stay tuned. Hidden guys, just make the pic of yourself without a shirt. Oh, you get all kinds of women jumping on. I don't know, man. I might have to go the opposite and get on there because, you know, there's probably more guys. I guarantee there's more guys that follow the channel. So, you know. Oh, man. He says, I'm 40. He says, I don't look that old. He says, guys is high. He says, but probably think that's because he said, I'm 40. I have daddy issues. Oh, man. Let's see here. Peter says, I seen a fence / video earlier on the TikTok that made me think of you. It was on a steep driveway. Dang, Peter, if you can, I don't know if you can send me. I don't really do too much of the TikTok, you know. Maybe I should. It's hard to see controlling already one social media. So trying to do two and learning the new algos. But some people like that stuff, you know, it doesn't hurt. But if there's some way, think of it, if there's I don't know how you do it. Like I said, you can either shoot me a text or shoot me an email in the description, the Daveadubson@gmail.com or whatever, you know. What do we got here? What do we got here? Maybe we can just put hidden. Can we just put you? We can just put you post with garage door. If you got a garage door, you should send it to me. I'm just curious what Cali garage doors. Nothing. You don't have to send nothing funny. Just a garage door. Tony's got. Oh, you know it would have been a different thickness, dude. It's always. I'm telling you, those garage doors. I've burned myself so many times trying to take shortcuts when I was a young man. You know, I can't tell how many doors I'd stack, and it just something would fight me. Always on the track, it'd fight me. The thickness, the adjustments weren't the same. The L brackets, the flag brackets, whatever you want to call them. You know, something was different. It was always like I just wanted to crumple it up, throw it in the garbage can. I was like, screw this. Why did I do this? This was really stupid. And so I always just learned, you know what, just tear it all out, but this one was so buried, I was like, I don't know what to do. And the radius, sometimes on wood doors, I've had wood doors trick me. I can't say I've had a, I see it, Peter. I see it came through. I seen you email me, so I'll check it out later. Thank you. I seen, I just, wood doors and those fiberglass doors, all the fiberglass doors are ripped. So I never that's never normally a problem. But that one had me nervous, and I couldn't figure out the radius of the track. Like I said, I took a level on it. I measured it. I even watched I looked at a few diagrams, how to measure it, because I never really measure track. I can normally look at it, or I measure my headroom and stuff and then go from there on my floor to ceiling. And so this one I checked, and it was like whatever I said in the video, like 16 and a half, 17. And I'm like, so what is that? I'm like, is that considered 15-inch radius, or is that, you know, I was a little bit like, oh no. It's like, what do I do? So I was taking a whole bunch of different measurements. And if I had to do a Hail Mary and get with the secretary, get with the vendor and be like, this is what I got, what will fit? You know, like we got a really weird situation here. Tony says, don't you hate that laying in bed at night thinking about that shit? Oh my gosh, dude. I tell you what, that's why, you know, um, you know how it is. I don't think we want to go down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean? I see Tony. Let me see real quick here. Oh, Tony. Oh man, funny. Sorry. You never know. You never know, Tony. I have no idea. It could be the opposite too of the species. Little inside joke for Tony. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I tell you, it's countless and countless of hours thinking about jobs. And mind you, I'm kind of a little bit, and this was just kind of a one-off, and I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, this is a resi. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking about every little thing I got to pull out of my hat to make this puppy work. And that all got washed away. So all that worrying was for nothing. I get there, the guy's like, hey, I blew out the wall. I took it all out down. And I'm like, and then now I'm going like, oh crap, is 12-inch radius going to work? That's what this box came with. And luckily it all worked out. It's pretty good. Like I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I might break it up. You guys can let me know too. Do you like videos a certain length? Do you like stuff, that's 5 to 8 minutes long, or to 10 to 14 is okay. I see stuff that seems like it's like you start getting over like the 14, you get to 15, 18. People, their attention span really doesn't normally last that long. So the shorter a little bit's better. I thought about doing a separate one with that because I had a Torque Master just to help some people out with a Torque Master, because I know those can be intimidating. I was kind of giggling through the whole thing because there's some things like brackets where little I know there's a chart for it, but I could see where I was like, dude, if I wasn't a seasoned vet, I'd be like sitting there biting my fingernails. What's the guy here? You don't hate lying and bad. Think about it. Says we got hidden. Says, but you get a lot of women. I'm not a guy. Well, thank you. Thought. You know what? I think Hidden was right. I think the car was what threw me, and I didn't quite know. So what do we got here? This is what kind of picture inside? Yeah, just outside, like an overall picture of the outside. If you got any lights out there, that'd be kind of cool. Or just the inside. That's what I always talk about, like on the channel. I love pictures. I love pictures I get pictures all around, from the UK. I get them from Canada. I love just seeing, Tony knows how it is. Tony sends me pictures just of car show. I love just random pictures of anything. I love to, I'm probably never going to really get the chance to really like travel the world in a sense. So I love seeing the pictures and going, wow, that's different. Like, I'm going to tell you flat out, UK, Sean over there, darn near every building he shows me is brick. Like they remind me of, I don't want to sound mean, but they remind me of a tomb where you put a coffin, but they're bigger, and they're not real big though. I mean, to me, it looks like 9x7 openings. I hardly ever see them send me something that's a 16x7 wide opening, double stall. They're all like 9x7s, and they're almost like, they're always flush. They're all brick. And I was mentioning to him, I said, those brick buildings got to work pretty good for keeping like the rodent and stuff out. And he says, actually, mate, no, they don't. He always says, mate, it's cool. And so anywho, but just to see the pictures, and it's whoa. And he's like, he deals with a lot of concrete, where we deal out of wood for the most part. So it's just really cool to see that kind of stuff. I love it, Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. So Peter says, I like 20 minutes or less. Okay. Unless it's just talking. He says, then it's nice. Long one is because I listen while I mow the grass. Ooh, that's a good point. I'm sure I kind of stress that a little more. So I'm glad Peter brought that up, because plus we got 7 likes. Thanks for the likes, you guys. I'm the same way. So like there's one guy, I like to watch, what's his channel? It's Just a Few Acres Farm. Pete. just a real humble guy. He does with like the farm all tractors and stuff. He's got his own little small farm. Um, and there's times where I know how it is. The day's busy and stuff like that. So I like to, but I still like listening, because when I hear certain things when he's running a tractor or something like that, or I hear him talk about something, I go, wonder. I might go back in the video and look at it. But I do the same thing. I might be driving it, whatever, watering grass, trees, mowing, just doing activities outside. And I tell you what, I wonder if Papa Tony has any of these. I don't know if I got them on me. I think I got them on me. I tell you what, though, we were talking to my brother-in-law about this. You want to see something? You want to see something that's deadly? My wife got me one with a little pouch on it, a little hook on there, so you can clip it. I don't do that too much because I'm always worried I'm going to lose them. I tell you what, these things are deadly. Did you see the green light? These right here will change your life. And I don't know if I'm going to say for the better. These things are addicting. These things are sinister. I don't know what to think about these things, but you put these in, and if you do the noise cancellation, I honestly think these things work better than earbuds when they're working good. If you got the noise cancellation on them. These darn things, I was watching a video a couple days back. I was doing some whatever, and the guy must have had kids, and he must have had a four-wheeler in the background. I literally thought there was a four-wheeler that was pulling up to me multiple of times. Like, I literally was scared, and like I looked over my shoulder, like, holy crap, there's a four-wheeler just up on me, and like I'm ripping them out. Like, where's it at? Like, screwing with me. And then I realized it was in the video. So I'm saying these are those AirPods. I think honestly these things would be almost. I'm not more warnings on these things about like not driving, or using these while you're driving and stuff like that. Because I guarantee you, darn near knock out an ambulance and stuff like that if it isn't right next to you. Just crazy. So ever been on the fence about some of these? They work great. I actually use these for cutting the grass up at the trailer. I used to wear the big earmuffs, and all I could do with those, well, they had Bluetooth on them, but my ears would get all see when I was mowing. These, they even work than those big old earmuffs that are the 3M. Just amazing, crazy. Oh, there you go. So okay, so hit guys. I do have your email link bio. Send a bio to send, or on Facebook. I guess you can do whatever. I don't think I got many people on Facebook that follow me on there. I don't really do too much on there. I could probably do more, but like I said, it's kind of whole social. I kind of got YouTube tuned in, so I do that. If I was promoting the business more, I'd probably would, but since I'm semi-retired, what brand I have? Is it so it's the Beat ones, and I hate them. Okay, they always fall out. Yeah, I'm sure. I think this one came with different. I'm not real good. I know there's different models of these Air Pros. And of course, you think they got it on here. Mine get beat up pretty good too, so I'm surprised they've been holding up as good. But I mean, if anything, it's got the little, and on the bottom. I think they got different models, but they sit in my ear really nice. They've gone in the little charge pretty good. It lights up. Supposedly this is what charges it. In a sense, these little guys, they've worked really good. I tell you what though, they're just nuts. They sit in the ear good. They're scary. That's all I can say. Like, I can't believe how good they work. Tony says, oh yes. He says, they're great. Great earbuds. So you got some, Tony? Pop Tony's got some? I'll be darned. Like I said, I was, white hers probably for a year or two, something like that. And I was like, I'm not, whatever, man. I'm not dealing with that crap. You know what I mean? And finally I got one for a gift, and it was just like, I don't know if it's modern technology. I don't see what the big thing is. And once I put them in and it does this little thing where it goes, and you'll hear it just swell up, like everything closes up and all the outside noise. I'm like, holy cow, like this is amazing. So anyways, what I was saying earlier is I gotta put on there if it's more of a podcast. So if somebody just wants to listen instead of looking at my ugly face, kind of like this video, I should have said it this one, right? Because there's really not much besides like a torsion spring book and stuff like that, you know, but you could just listen along. And some people I know do listen. They listen in the morning when they go to work and stuff like that, which is great. That's awesome. I'm glad they tune in. And just remember, sometimes the things that always keep me going is, some of the pictures, the questions. That's the stuff I love. I love bringing, where I can try to help other people in the videos, or if I can read the emails, good stuff. It's illegal to drive with them with headphones in your ears while in California. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, like Michigan has just came out with the whole, you can't, what was it? The talk. You can't, hands-free. You can't have the phone in your hand, stuff like that. But I tell you what, it's like, it seemed like it was a big deal on the news for quite a while. And then they were showing the police officers pulling people over and all that. And now, like, I don't hear nothing about it. I see people at street corners and that. I mean, I see one today, even just right up to the head and everything. And I'm like, you know what I mean? And, well, it is what it is. It's the world we live in now. Air Pro. Okay, perfect. Got them. Yeah, Tony's right. He says, these work great even just for an earplug. I'm surprised. I'm sure there's some technicality to it because they're battery operated, because they work so darn good. I kept telling myself, like, I was like, man, if I worked in a shop, you could listen to a little bit. But I've had them actually where I'll be done like with a video that I'm listening to, or music, and they'll be in there. And it's weird because I'll be like in my own little world. Like I'm just like, oh, man, it's just so quiet, and I'm just sitting there in my own thoughts. And I'll be like, oh crap, I still have my the earbuds in, and I don't hear all the traffic or whatever else is going on around me. And I'm thinking, oh, they're still blocking the sound. So yeah, I'm surprised. I'm sure there's some shops, since I don't work in a factory, I don't know, but I about guarantee that they got in their handbooks that say, no earbuds. Because I did have one where the one day the settings got changed somehow, and I ended up I was using a table saw, and man, I was like, dang, that table saw is like super loud, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I had to watch a video how to turn it back on. Somehow, you never know, a kid or something touched it and got it off. And yeah, so it was nuts. Oh, that's right. That's right. What's got hidden? The face. Yeah. The fox. Yeah, that's what the wife says too. Yeah, girls like that stuff. You know what I mean? What is it? Mary's my part. My part. That's all. I got a gentleman walking up by me. I think he was shopping, so hopefully he doesn't ask for a handout for money. We kind of live in that era, so I guess you'll see it on live if I get yanked out of the vehicle and strangled to death. But anywho, what time are we running at? We're still a little bit, like I said, might give it a little longer. You guys got anything else going on? Tony, what's going on with the vehicles? You got anything going on with those? Any maintenance things or any problems or something need a radiator or anything like that? I think the Nissan, I might have found, I got a clicking noise going on. Might need a little grease in the spot, but you got to tear the drive shaft out. Yep. And some tires are on their way, because you know how it's going to be coming here. Yep. Some of the trucks need tires. Gotta love that. Well, it was great. It was great having you here. Hidden Angel. Great night. Go home and hit it twice once for me. That's great. Like I said, shoot me some pictures. Let me see what you got for garage door and that. Like I said, got a car parked in there and stuff like that. It's always good. Um, it's just nice to have opener, garage door opener. Always like seeing that kind of stuff. You're supposed to battery backup, I believe, out in California. So, but otherwise, have a great for being here. It's always nice when we got some people that do some comments. Like I said, tonight's kind of quiet. Ah, Tony says, funny you just said that. He said, I just put a radiator in my van. So another thing, I don't think I see this comment. This is great. So it's Dab. So 27, what age should someone have it all together? I think that's a great question. I love it. I absolutely love that question. That's great. Man, this truck's got like some lights on it over here. I turned the camera around, but I don't know if you guys will see it. Like I was looking at it, I'm like, what the heck is this? Let me see if I can flip the camera around. You guys see that? It's not showing up very good. Look at that. That's nuts. There it goes. It's got like some pink or something under the fender wells. Huh. Interesting. Man, that makes my windshield look really dirty. Guess I gotta clean it. But anyways. I'm right there with Tony, right? It says what you know, so Dab says, you know, I'm 27. Age should someone have it all together. I tell you what, 41, right? I'm 41. And I don't think sometimes you just don't ever got it together. And I don't think you sometimes will ever know, you know, to some degree. I still always joke around. And my joke that I go, you know, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. You know what I mean? For a job, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. No, I've been doing a lot. Like I said, I think it's just one of those things you just got to find happiness in whatever you do. You know what I mean? If it's small business, it's working at a shop, it's being an insurance agent, it's being a roofer, landscaper, whatever, right? You know, try to find something that it doesn't feel so hard, that feels like work all the time. That's the big thing. You know, just you got to remember short, and you know, just don't remember. You know, don't forget. Don't take things for granted. You know what I mean? Like good health. You know, you're up every day, you're sucking air, you got the fingers and the toes and the legs and everything's working, right? Because you know, if you've ever been drinking or you've been sick and you've been wrapped around the toilet, right? You always tell yourself, man, I never want to be here. You know what I mean? I don't want to ever experience this again. And you got to imagine that there's some people out there that don't have that convenience. Maybe they're stuck in a bed, you know. People experience the cars. So, but just, you know, I always wonder that. I know the one thing I've always experienced for me is my biggest thing always was the freedom. Um, that was my biggest thing, you know, in life. Find the freedom. That where, you know, when I worked in a factory job, that was the worst of the worst for me. Some people don't mind it. Some people like it. Some people, you know, I would rather go shovel horse manure to work in a factory, especially when you get with miserable people, right? Miserable people can make things really a bummer. But you know, even being business owner, there's pros and there's cons. It's just, you know, it's like I was telling the one guy, right? I said it's good to be king, but the crown is heavy. And I think that's a very fair statement. You know what I mean? Because you have a lot of pressure on you, right? You don't always have a check. If you got employees, you got to keep them going. You got trucks, you got to keep going. You got your vendors that are switching and doing things and they got bills. So there's all kinds of ways they can go. You know, it can get, you know, business can be very up and down. It's a roller coaster. That's one thing I sometimes don't like. You know what I mean? It can be, you know, you're slammed, and some weeks it feels like you need 20 people under you, and then other weeks, I don't even know how we're going to keep 5 people going. You know. Dun. 35. What's 35? I'm guessing. I'm 56. I don't think I got it all together. uh, uh, okay. Hey, William. So Daddy said you got my boss messes up all the time. I install doors too. Yeah, it's it's maybe it's something down the road too, and maybe you can provide more value. And sometimes I understand that some people don't want to give it up, either the bosses and stuff like that. But if it's one of those things like, I always look at things so much differently now that can provide value, right? And the problem is that sometimes as people, as humans in society, right, we feel like we have to, for everything we do, get rewarded, right? Instead of understanding that sometimes, you know what, I'm going to do something today and I might not get rewarded today. And you do another thing and I might not get rewarded the next day, and then the next day and the next day, and for on and so on. But we're building that value, that almost that point where the employer, whoever, a boss man, and that they go, dude, you do such a rock star job, like I can't get rid of you. Or like, hey, would you ever want to take this over? Or hey, like you make yourself so worthy that they just can't get rid of you, in a sense. So like, for instance, like, like I look at that situation and I go, well, why are they getting stuff wrong? What could you do to benefit that? And I'm really surprised in business and how many employees I've had over the years that I don't have more people say, in a nutshell, almost like, how can I help you to help me? When I leave today, if I take my personal vehicle and I go to that job that I know is on your radar, and I save you, 30, 45 an hour of your time to go measure this job and take that off your plate, can I do that? You know what I mean? So it's just stuff you got to think about. And, they might, at first, it's like, yeah, go for it. And they might just totally forget. They don't give you no gas money or something. Or they might say, well, you know what? Why don't you take the old fuel card, or here's $20 and go, make sure here's $100, take you and the wife out or something, or whatever. You just got to remember, don't be afraid. And I think that's why I really like working with my nephew, because he has something in him that I don't see in many people these days. He really doesn't complain. He's a young kid still. He's goofy looking like we were when we were young, right? We're just kind of all over the place. We either got the hair is kind of gumpy in shape and body wise. We don't, in life, we kind of we're searching for directions. But I love that he always has a good attitude, and he's always willing to learn. He never fights me, never says, well, that's stupid, or, I'll never make it. He always has positive things. He always, okay. And he's willing to learn. I hope he always keeps that. You know what I mean? It says I'm the only guy we had for 8 years. I'm trying so hard to be perfect. Well, so Scott, Dad, don't worry about others. Just take pride in what you do. That's all that matters. Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it like, so I remember this one time, right? And it was Cap did it, right? Cap did it one time. We were going to bring in somebody, and he's the only one that's mentioned this to me before, but I've had it, guys, right? And they go, well, they why would I show him how to do it? So what? He can take my job? I always wanted to be like, no, dummy. Teach him how to do it so you can make your job easier. You know what I mean? Because you're getting up in age, or you're a seasoned vet. Let the greenhorn, let the newbie do it. You know what I mean? Let him, and he's learning how to fish now too, right? Let him experience it. You don't have to do it all. So, it's just one of those things. And like I said, but you should always be, I think, trying to improve, always try to do better, try to get smarter, try to get faster, try to get quicker, try to implement systems. And regardless, you should always, even if you can share them with a business, or you're just using them for yourself, that like, oh, when I go to a job, I make myself a checklist, or I go to a job and I got to check out. So, just always be trying to improve on yourself. And, and be an asset. You know, also look for people, for helpers. Like here's my thing. This is just kind of off the subject a little bit. You know, if you're looking for workers and that, right? One thing you can always do is keep your eyes out at some, maybe the restaurants, maybe anywhere, right? But where people work, right? Maybe Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, whatever. You know what I mean? Walmart. And look, because they've already gone through pre-screening through that. And maybe it's something you just kind of tell them, say, you know, I've come in here a few times. You're always doing good works, hustling. You're doing stuff. Hey, would you ever, you know, consider working for, you know, would you ever like doing this? And you might be surprised that somebody will come on board. I'm always surprised. I've asked employees in the past to bring on people. And it's funny how they kind of, not always, but sometimes have fallen short on it. But you know, you think they have so many friends and stuff and this and that, that they just flood them in. You know what I mean? But that's normally not the case. So you got to always look out. Tony's got Dab. He says the customers will see it. He says they'll start asking for you. That's true. That's true. What's up? He says, oh, he's got Arthur says, hello, Germany. Hello from Germany. Hey, Germany. Holy cow, there's a cat walking across. That scared me. Thought it was a mini bear. Well, you noses, he says, what's going on? Oh, Arthur, that's funny. That's funny. Hope things are going good in Germany. I need some Germany pictures. That's what I need. They got garage doors in Germany, right? Send me some garage doors. Send me at the email, the Daveadubson@gmail.com. I need some Germany pictures, man. That'd be pretty cool. Tony, you want to see some Germany pictures if they come through? That'd be pretty neat, man. That would be pretty neat. So, but yeah, you know, for Dab though, like I said, just keep it going. You know, I mean, just keep hustling, try to keep improving. If you see stuff that you can let the boss or whoever know to, say, look, hey man, what if we do this to make things better? You know, there's a lot of people that complain, man. You know, Arthur, he says, I love the USA. Well, come on, man, come on over. They got, you know how it is, man. There's all kinds of you know, people coming in, man. Help yourself. I'm sure you got some roots over there and family and all that. It's always cool. I love it. You know what I mean? You know, I think it's the powers that be, right? The kings and the queens. I think they make disturbed and not like each other and all kinds of different race and everything else. For the most part, we always want to take care of our family. You know, we want to take care of our neighbors. We want everybody to eat at the table. So I think that's pretty cool. Tony said, I used to live in Germany when I was 3. No kidding. Peter Heideberger. I can't say that. I can't spell. Come on, man. Tony, Rich B, getting a grill this late. What do you mean? Rich didn't jump in here, did he? Oh, son of a biscuit. He is on there. He's getting the grill out. Sweet. Sweet. Just a hop skipping away. I'll just hop over. I'll get something to eat. I'm always a midnight snacker guy. Oh, let's wait though. Wait. Rich was the one that he sent me the picture. We had a little dispute about the mustard and the hot dog. So I don't know, man. We gotta, you know, we might have to go out in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Ooh, Jeffrey says his Marantec openers were Germany. I think you're right. So are the Horman, right? Because that guy, he was like an hour and 15 minutes away from the shop, man. We went to install that Horman and it didn't work, man. And I was like, man, this isn't my first time. And I mean, it just wouldn't power up, it wouldn't beep, it wouldn't move, it did nothing. And I remember the guy I'm with, I was like, dude, I was like, here, you try it. Like, you plug it in, read the instructions, like, what are we doing wrong? Finally, it's dead. Knocking the door. Kind of a big dude too. I think he was kind of bald, if I remember right. A little bit older than me. And we're like, hi, sir, your opener doesn't work. And he's like, what? Because I special ordered that. I said, well, it ain't working. I said, if you got, you know, a genie or a Chamberlain, I said, we could just go back to the store and swap it out. And he's like, so I said, I don't even know whatever happened of it because it was just out of our hands through Lowe's. Switzerland. So Tony says, he says, I believe, oh, Jeffrey, they are Switzerland. Crazy. Crazy. Man, see, some of you guys, geez, Rich, you've been working late today? What's Rich been up to? He's probably getting the grill out, sorry. He's probably a little busy. What have you been working on? You've been working on some doors? I got to figure out something for the back of this truck, man. I tell you, Home Depot's got the best bins, I think. I've had a few of them. They're really, really big totes. They got wheels in the back. I don't remember the price, but anyways, I've had a few of them. I've used them for like hunting and stuff like that. Crazy is they're not built like with weather gaskets and everything. It's just the design of it somehow. They keep the water. They'll puddle water on top the way the top is, but they never gotten water in ever. And I've left them outside in rain and stuff like that. And they're just nice because they're a little bit taller and skinnier. I think I'm going to try something like that for the back because I had to help Caleb at the last minute. So I threw tools in. And then I left it. Luckily, we just didn't get no rain right now. We need rain. I ended up throwing some more tools in, made a mess. And then, of course, you know how it is. Like, everywhere you go, you got to watch. People aren't, like, picking out your drill or something or impact because, you know, everything's like a $100 bill just sitting there. Tony says, somewhere, or I just know I don't care for them, but, or it says not user-friendly. That's how I feel about them. You know what I mean? I think they make nice machines. I think if you bought their nicer ones, but man, the setup on them was just, it was like Chinese. And, but I tell you, I kind of put the one I had through a torture test and unplugging it, plugging it back in. I left it unplugged for, gosh, at one point, probably about a year and a couple months, plugged it back in. We had power outages. It always held its limits. It worked, but I thought I'd get so much blowback on those things from the installers. But honestly, sometimes you look at it and you go, for the little bit of blowback, and you don't have to go back and do another service call because of a circuit board or anything like that, maybe it's worth it. You know what I mean? To go through the heartache. But, you know, it's really hard to beat like Chamberlain LiftMaster. They're just so nice to program. You know what I mean? They're just so easy for the most part. But, you know, the problem I'm having now, which I don't know if any of you guys here right now, because we don't have a full slew of guys. Maybe Rich. Rich might know this. Tony, I think Tony deals with the box stores too much. But I'm looking for a 10-foot rail opener. I'll give you a little, oh man, been down with the sickness? Shoot, man, that sucks. I hope you feel better. That stuff, man, it'll tear you up. What is it? Is it like just a standard sickness? The COVID, or is it the monkey and the pox? You know, I'm just curious, Rich. But anyways, so here's the problem. Little spoiler alert for a video that's going to be in the future. So the one I did with Caleb, customer, they're 10 by 10 garage doors. Caleb's got the customer has provided the opener, and they bought the extension kit. I got a few pictures, looking at it, and I'm going, oh boy, because of you guys actually, somebody was telling me that it sounded like, right, Craftsman was Chamberlain always for the most part, and then Guardian, which Dream garage door opener, started building the Craftsman, and then I could be wrong with this statement, correct me if I'm wrong, Craftsman went back to Chamberlain, supposedly. I don't know if that's still true or not. So anyways, I get there, and guess what? It's a Guardian / Craftsman. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would feel bad about even putting this on a 7-foot tall garage door at my grandma's house. Like, I'm just like, oh. And then I see I'm thinking, there's no way they got this thing up to 10 foot. I mean, 8 the max. Nope, there's an extension kit in there. It says for 10 foot. And I'm like, it says Craftsman on it. And I'm like, really? Well, anyways, I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess this will make for some video, and I am going to get, which I totally expect, to get ridiculed in the comments of just like, what a piece of junk. Why would you ever do that? Blah, 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 you know, and be like, hey, the customer's installing it. Or not installing, but they're providing it. I'm just installing it. And anyways, the Guardian rails are actually even skinnier Then a Chamberlain. So what it was is it's basically a Guardian garage door opener, Craftsman extension, but the real Craftsman slash Chamberlain. So the Craftsman has those grooves, if you guys ever put them together, right? You got to bang the pipes together for your rail. The Guardian Extreme, whatever, it does not have that. It's just like it's supposed to stay together with the chain and the cable. That's how it keeps it all sucked together. So I went to put the rail together, and I'm like, oh, loosey, clunky, clunk, goosey, goosey. I went, well, there's no way. This ain't even gonna, there's just, so we didn't get to install the opener. Now, what I'm getting at is I told the customer on the phone that I said, hey, look, I said, my place, I said, I would go with a screw drive Genie. I said, that's just me. And then it was kind of like I felt like when I was talking to him, my foot come up in my mouth, and I was like, and like, where are you going to find a 10-foot? I'm assuming you can special order it. Then it's going to be a piece together. But I was like, well, you know, it's like still a 10-foot Genie rail, even pieced together, it's going to be better than an extreme garage door opener all day. So I ended up, Caleb found one, it sounds like, at Home Depot. The thing is that you guys have mentioned to me, which I super uber appreciate. Learn, like I said, I love learning from you guys. That there is that difference, right? There's a difference between the black head versus the gray head. And of course, what he sent me was a black head, and I said, hey, I said, do they sell a gray headed unit by chance? And he's like, I found one on Amazon. And I'm like, and it does 10-foot? And I'm thinking, how are they going to even ship it unless it's pieced together? And he goes, oh, no. He goes, that's 7-foot. My bad. I'm like, well, keep looking. He hasn't got back to me. He probably went to bed. Tony somewhere over there. Just Tony. Rich has got been down. Dab says, my boss only ordered right 218s. Ooh. Maybe just accidentally. I'm just curious, how old's your boss? I'm just curious. And if you don't mind, Dab, also, how old are you? Because wait, were you the one that messaged earlier about it? Or no, I'm sorry. If you did, I don't see it. Okay, so I'm assuming your boss is 63 and you're 27. Oh, perfect age, man. Perfect age. That's a beautiful age. I tell you what. Let me ask you this. Would you ever consider taking over the business from your boss? Or do you think you ever want to start your own business? Or just curious. Be interesting to know. Because you can provide value, you know what I mean? And what's beautiful, if a business is already established, it's kind of nice. Okay, so Dab, I'm just curious. So I see you said, yeah, saving eventually to start my own. Is it something that you ever talked to your boss about? And I guess there's a couple things. You know, for one, I guess there's a lot of layers to this. You know, one would be is like, does your boss, you know, where you work, do you have a physical location, or are we working from home? I'm just trying to get a feel on it a little bit, because you might be missing an opportunity. You know what I mean? Possibly. Because I tell you what, to start a business, there's a lot that goes into it. And I know I get a lot of guys that message me and they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I got to get the customer base. There's definitely something about being in the business for so many years that can be a huge help. It really can be. You know, the systems are put in place. The customers know. The phone's out there. The phone number's been out there for many years. There's a lot that goes to it. I don't know. When I look at how many systems we have, you know, we have Ring Central, and all this stuff took a lot of time to make. The stickers for our vendors, you know, and like now, everything is just easy, right? Everything you just call, right? And I know that can seem easy to some people, right? Because they just look at it and they're like, all I do is pick up the phone or send a text or an email off to somebody and they get shirts made, or they get stickers made, or they get, Tony would be like, tees made. That took a lot of time to set up. You know what I mean? That took a lot of time, you know what I mean? To get with the vendor and proof, and they send you a batch and you go, these are not right. And they go, well, we'll get you on the next one. And you're like, well, I bought 1,000 or something, you know, whatever, 150 of them. So Tony says, I have to agree with Dave. You need a little time in the biz, Tony's got, he says, I had a guy call me tonight, said he's been looking for me back when I got into garage doors. First company I started with, going to work for him tomorrow. Can't wait to see an old customer. Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's it's a very long term. You know, I think some people do get in the business too, right? And they think it's a quick flip. You know what I mean? And not if you're trying to make a come. It's tough. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of volatility until you finally cushion of money. The customers know you. The customers trust you. There's definitely a lot of layers to it. You know what I mean? We'll probably give it to about 11:15 or so. Like I said, I was just curious about Dab a little bit. And like I said, Dab, if you want, you can always email me. If you got questions or something or anything you come up with, I always love making videos of stuff too. If you got any kind of question, or I'll shoot an email if you want it personal. And sometimes I just use blank names, so not out there. If you don't want certain things, because it's easier. Honestly, it's easier for me to make a video than type emails to explain things sometimes, because mine's like the oopsie op opie boo boo. You know what I mean? So I like making the videos of them. But like I said, if you got an owner that's at 63, I would definitely be in the talks with them to be like, what are you looking to get out of this? You know what I mean? Like, what is your end game in a sense? Where's your exit? You know, why are you doing what you do? You know, would you ever want royalties? Would you ever just want to be bought out? Would you be here now? Could we work out something? And every paycheck, I have a certain amount of money, or what if there's just so many layers to it, however you want to do it. And you can still work for them. You still can go home at the end of the day without working a second or a part-time job, extra hours. And like I said, it all depends, layers too, because, 27, I'm trying to think, 27. I was getting close. I think I was getting close to like my first kid. And I don't know if you're reading all that kind of stuff. So it's a tough cookie sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I said, I look back at it sometimes, and I wish I wouldn't have put sometimes all the time. I know it's like, oh, it paid off, but sometimes, man, I sacrificed a lot of, missed family sometimes, missed vacations, missed, hunting, just a lot of stuff that you can pass up, man. Well, shoot, man, depending where you're at, making 1,000 a week cash from them, that's not too bad. You know what I mean? You got to watch. So I should bring this up. This is good for some other people too, right? Cash is great, but where it can bite you down the road is if you ever start building your own, business or something, right? Because you might not show that income. So unless you already have your own business and you're showing that coming in and you're paying all the taxes on it, that can be a double-edged sword. It blows my mind. I can't even go into the depth about how everything is so synchronized in the United States that you need to pay taxes. If you want to get a loan, or you want to purchase a vehicle or a scissor lift or a trailer for the business. So you got to watch sometimes that, like for me, right, I have to have in my businesses, like for us, we're like an S corp. So I actually make a paycheck from it. It's technically kind of like it's in the process. It's always a long process, but it's like basically what I want to lease, right? I'm getting a rent check, but then I have to have another business I use for that to pay me a payroll, because when you go to the bank, they want to go, well, we want to see the last 3 years, of your income. You know what I mean? And that's difficult, right? Because you got to always remember sometimes too, right? There's good debt, there's debt, right? And sometimes when you're in debt, you don't pay taxes, right? That's how the wealthy look at stuff. You got to know, you can't be that truck, that car, whatever, that fancy stuff, man. That's depreciates. That's the problem. I know Tony even says he's like, damn, dude, that's good money. It depends, especially where you're at. Like in the heart of Cali or something, the inflation might just eat that away in no time, right? But heck, if you're like Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, whatever, man, Florida, I mean, I would say, it's like, bravo, man, bravo, have at it, take it up, But like I said, you got to watch that for the future. Sometimes that can burn you. I mean, for the money aspect of it. Tony says, yeah, I agree. That's especially cash, dude. That's great. I said for even I would say up in Michigan, that's wonderful. So I would, I think that's pretty generous. I think I'd be talking to my boss or something and be like, hey man, could I eventually take this over? And they might be nice enough too. You just never know. Everybody's situation is different. Might not even want nothing. Just, hey, keep it running. Keep my customers. Maybe throw him rent money if he's got a building. Maybe work something out. Like I said, you pay him a little money over 10 years or something like that. Some kind of royalty or something. There's so many different ways you can do it. And he might have that in the back, and he say, hey man, you're the guy. It's kind of weird because like in the business too, right? I had a guy that he'd probably be next in line, but the issue was he ended up he left, and he left on good terms. He's a good dude. He left, and then he came back, right? And so his seniority wasn't there in line, kind of like Cap was. And Cap, can't say nothing bad. You know what I mean? Cap does a great job, everything. There was a guy that would have probably took his spot, overseas him in a sense, but the guy, he turned in, big thing like I always talk about, right? Attitude. Is he a thief? Is he honest, trustworthy? Real simple stuff, right? But you'd be surprised at how many people can't do simple stuff. So Peter says, what's the average yearly salary are we talking like the garage doors and stuff? I don't know. I mean, it's probably 60, 75 in this area. Is what I honestly, like I said, it's, how do you say it? Like the business is like its own organism. You know what I mean? Like it feeds on itself. It operates on itself, which wasn't always that beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, but it's nice now because it kind of, it's got its own human resource. It's got its own payroll. It's I think it's easier, honestly, for a lot of people. It wasn't easy for me at the beginning. It was pure hell. And but once you get the right people in place, and you get the systems, it really comes down to that whole McDonald's theory, right? It's like, anybody can make a better hamburger at McDonald's, but can you build a better system? That's the problem. And then is it worth all that squeezing, for maybe a few drops? You know what I mean? But you know how to squeeze the next one to get it to a few more drops of that one because you got better. So Tony says, when I was working for somebody, he says it was 38. Yeah, that sounds about right, Dab's got, he's had 4 divorces, had to refinance everything. Ooh, yikes. Yeah, that sounds a little bit messy. I run my own. It's more like 100. Hello, yeah. But even for like what Tony's saying, the big thing too that they teach in school, right? And a lot of people want security. You know, that's what happens with, you know, a lot of employees and stuff. They all want security, right? They want to know every week I'm getting this much, blah, 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 right? Well, sometimes what they don't realize though is, you know, there's a huge tax advantage that you're missing out on. You know, when you can depreciate stuff, maybe shoes, lunch pail, food, some things, you know, vehicle, where, you know, when you're in the employee side, when you're an employee, you get your paycheck and that's what you get. They already took all the stuff out of it, right? The government, SAM, Social Security, they all got yanked out. And you know, that's what you're left with. What always gets me is you go out and then you buy stuff, right? And then you get, isn't that called double? I mean, isn't that how that works? I mean, you got hit when you got the paycheck, and then you get hit again out in the real world. And then, you know, you buy a vehicle somewhere, you get hit every year for tabs and stuff. I mean, insurance, those got taxes. Peter says, dang, Tony, is it just you? Says, the only bad thing is not cash, it is out in the shop. Cash is product out in the shop. Was it just sitting? Was it jets? We got jets. My last year I was piece wage. I did 78. Nice. Dad says he will until he dies. Probably I need to start my own. Just need to save as much as I can right now. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You know, maybe it's something you can talk to him about. You know, honestly thought about it with some of the guys that I'm surprised that they don't it's always a weird kind of concept, right? A lot of times people leave on bad terms, right? They oh, I'm gonna go do my own, right? Well, then the problem is they start doing that stuff, and that's why I'm telling, like, in a nutshell, Dad, like this would be good for you, right? You got to remember, I've had this happen numerous times. Guys start businesses, and I tell them, I say, well, here's the problem I have, right? You know, for one, they normally don't tell you, right? You find out through social media, Facebook, their home address, a vendor. That's very common in the garage door world. Vendors are very tight. I've had many conversations out in a field for 6 hours with my vendor telling me about, hey, is this somebody that used to work for you? I'm like, yeah. Well, here's some pictures I got, and here's their website. And then they take pictures of my jobs. And I'm thinking, it's one thing when I take pictures, but a customer or something that says, hey, get rid of that. Now I'm not in control of it. That was a job, you know, you were on with the company. I can't get rid of that because if you go rogue or you just don't do it or something, it's out of my control. So I always kind of bash me the wrong way. So then they start doing this stuff. We have these conversations up front. They might want to work with you. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't, they don't. But at least you made your intentions semi-clear of like, hey, you know, I would like to do more with this. Or maybe even if I do a sub, whatever, I can take over your customers in the future. Or you could pay me and it's going to save you on the payroll part or whatever. But while you're not doing payroll because you're getting paid cash, you really should start. And here's the thing. This is just me. This is my opinion. Don't sue me, bro. This is not financial advice or anything. I'm not an attorney, and I'm not a financial advisor. I personally would set up a business. Now, me and Tony go back on this. You know, it's understandable with Tony what he says. Right? If you're gonna do garage doors and that, you want your name to basically highlight that, right? But if you're kind of like, I don't know for sure. You know, then make it like there's a company around here. It's called JF Enterprise. But then he puts on his truck, right? He's got J Enterprise, garage doors and operators or something he's got in there. Big letter thing. But the nice thing with that Enterprise is he could do anything. He'd be JF Undercoating, right? He could be JF Enterprise Trucking. He can be I like how it's generic. And then maybe even if you wanted to branch off that, you do that. But at least you get something where you can take that money, you can start processing it the way it needs to be processed. So you can start showing that day comes you want to start a bank because they're gonna be like, what do you got? You know what I mean? You'd be like, well, I got money. So unless you're going to pay for cash, but that can be, you know, maybe it only goes so far, right? You need to buy a truck, you need to buy a system. That's what happened to me, right? I was in a divorce, and she wasn't paying her student loan debt. It locked me up for whatever, 3, 4, or 5 years. I couldn't get a loan because she wasn't making her payments. You know, I had a judgment from the judge that said I'm not responsible for them. it was messing my credit up. So I couldn't do nothing for a long time. So I had to pay everything out of pocket, just older trucks. I mean, constantly working on them over the weekends, you know, brakes, oil changes, just things to think about. Guys says, yeah, Peter, and pay my daughter about 30 something. 30 per hour. 30 per year. When I started my own business, I had a guy call me and was retiring. I bought his phone number and remainder of product vehicles, ladders for like $8,000. That's not a bad deal. That's a good deal. I so wish there was a company, like I said, they were the founders of this area for so many years. One that me and Tony have talked about. They had placards. They riveted on the doors of a name, their company name, phone number, and stuff. And the business kept getting broken up and broken up and broken up. And the guy that worked with me, it was my foreman for a while. I remember him telling me, saying, that dude rides around in his van now. All he does is like residential. And he goes, that dude rides around with a case of beer legs. And I was like, yeah, like, okay, like you're probably being a little over dramatic, but okay. And then finally one day, a few months later, I seen his van at a little grocery store on the main drag. And I watched him walk out with a 6-pack. And when he got up in that van, I didn't see it because the door was closing, but I watched him go from outside with that thing right between, like he was going between his legs. And I was like, I will be damned. Well, anyways, that lasts forever. You know, you can't be driving around drunk and going to customers and smell like alcohol and all that. And all of a sudden one day I'm working at a shop, right? I remember working at this, they do logistics there, move a bunch of material around. I get the scissor lift. I think we used their scissor lift at the time. I got my tools in there, right? And I can hear the guy. And like I said, I never met this guy. I don't know this guy. I just know there's somebody out there. And I can hear this guy talking to some other employees going, yeah, well, he's got to get his winding bars out. He's got to do this and do this. And all I kept thinking is, this dude is talking garage door language big time. Like, this ain't just a normal person. Like, well, he's probably going to be there for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Like, this dude's talking like he's got to get the cables back on. So I had to know. So I walked over to him. I'm like, hey, bud, what's up? I was like, you know garage doors? He's like, actually, I do. And he goes, it's called Shepherd. He goes, I used to run Shepherds. And I was like, oh, father, you know, like that's how I felt. Like I was like, I'm standing in, you know, I'm in front of a legend here, possibly. Now I know the legend is not that legend because obviously things went downhill and he's drinking and doing all this stuff, and that probably wasn't so cool, especially while you're dealing with customers and the business didn't make it. But he was out of it. And I said, so I was like, what'd you ever do with your old phone number? He's like, I just let it go. And I'm like, oh, I was like, dude, like, I would have gave you $1,000 for that phone number. Like, I would have gave you something, because that phone number skewed across town. Is so embedded and so en route into this town. And I've had customers, when he even called them back, you know, I'd be on a ladder when that was awkward, because I was like, I told the customer, I was like, you want me to keep going, or should I, like, you want to let this guy? And I called him for 2 days and he never called me back. And he's, you know, he said you were a good dude. And I'm thinking, I don't know who he even is, but okay, whatever, you know. Oh, Tony's dabbing, not dad. Perfect. All right, guys, I'm going to scoot out of here. I'm getting sleepy. The sleeping pill's kicking in. I got, you know, do a little drive here. And anywho, I'm getting out of here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for hitting the like button. We got a couple new ones in there, so it was great talking to you guys too. Tony, you know, Rich, it's always good. Peter. And like I said, if you guys got anything, hit me email. Otherwise, some of you got my number. Just text me, shoot me pictures, whatever you got. And I hope you guys have a good Friday. Hope you have a good weekend. Maybe we'll do a live, maybe we won't. I don't know exactly. You never know. So does it stay black, brother? A Black and Decker. All right, I'm out, you guys. Have a good night. See ya.